Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sung. In today's video, I am going to be sharing some study tips. You guys are going to study for chemistry with me because I have a quiz tomorrow and I thought I'd share some of my tips since I would say I'm a pretty successful student in high school. So in your lifetime, there will always be a point in time where you have to study for something, whether it's for finals, a test, a quiz, or if you just don't understand something, you will have to study. And studying, there are definitely ways that are much better than others. I actually love memorizing. Well, I don't love memorizing. I would say I'm pretty good at memorizing things. And I do have tips for those. So I'm gonna put them in this video. I think the best possible thing to do for studying is starting in advanced. I personally am not very good at that. I usually just go like a day before, 2 days before. It definitely will help if you review your materials like a couple times. Starting a few days earlier before your test is so much better. I would say that the results of especially things where it's memorizing, that is definitely if you study for it, you will get a good mark. When I have tests like those, I literally memorize the entire notes, word for word. And the only reason I can kind of do that is because whenever I get the time to just go on my phone, I screenshot the notes on my phone so that I read through it. And just reading through it simply is you're repeating it over and over in your brain. And the best thing for studying is reading it, writing it, and saying it out loud. Whenever I have to memorize something, I read through the notes a couple times and then I stop looking at the notes and then I say it out loud without looking at the notes. I usually do this whenever I have the time, I just say it in my brain or I just say it out loud. I also, whenever I get the time, if it's memorizing notes, at any point in time when you have time, you basically just start writing the entire notes by yourself. I think it definitely does help because it's also practicing writing for your test. Even if you memorize it in your brain, at the moment in the test, you might blank and then you can't write it down. If you practice writing it down, it will kind of become muscle memory in a way. Back to what I was saying, reading, writing, and talking out loud is the best thing to do. Studying at night right before you go to bed is really, really good because it's in your brain and then you go to sleep. And then this is the part that I really, really like. As soon as I wake up, I try to remember everything I learned yesterday and then I say it out loud or I write it down so that I know that I have remembered everything I need to. And if you don't, read through the notes again. If you're eating breakfast, read it then. Even if you're on your way to school, just say it out loud and it actually really, really does help. For my quiz tomorrow, I can actually take in cue cards, but you had to buy cue cards, but it's all going to a good cause. So I obviously bought cue cards because who would skip the chance of bringing cue cards into a test? I've kind of talked a lot about the memorizing part, the notes part of it, but I would say that problems math equations, solving things. For chemistry, it would be equilibrium, equations. Those are different than memorizing because you kind of need to actually understand what's going on in order for you to be able to do the questions on the actual exam. So that's what I'm gonna go do today. For the notes part of this test, I'm gonna write them on these cue cards, so I don't really need to study for those today, which is kind of exciting. So obviously, if you have a good teacher, you'll get practice questions, right? You'll get practice questions. So do them. If you're one of those people who don't do your practice questions when you get them, it'll be much harder for you to understand it when it comes to the exam. So I would say at least do some of the questions when you first learn the concept, because if you don't do it then you're gonna forget what you learned and then it won't work out very well. Even if you did or if you didn't do the practice questions, do them again. Whether it's through looking at the answer key and then solving it out, or if it's starting from the question and solving all the way to the end by yourself, Just do it, do it, do it, do it. Repetition is key in understanding something. Like if you don't understand something and you do just that and you just leave it there, you're gonna be confused and you're not gonna do well. So if you don't understand something, figure it out. Like ask beforehand so that you're not confused on the test. If you're in class and if you're ever confused about anything, literally just raise up your hand and ask the question. Like if you're confused on it, I guarantee you there's at least one other person in the class who's thinking the same thing. Teachers are happy to answer those questions because then they know that you're actually like listening to the lesson and that you actually care about what you're learning about. You would rather ask questions earlier on so that you understand when you're studying too. It looks like I woke up from like a nap. It's because I did. I fell asleep sitting actually. I was on the couch and I just like fell asleep. And then I woke up and I was like so confused about where I was. So yeah, that's why it looks like I slept. Because I did. Also, another studying tip. If your teacher posts videos about like the lesson, if they have videos or they recommend videos, and if you don't understand the topic, go watch those videos. Just go into it with like a fresh mind and you'll be good. Like teachers don't want you failing your class. Like, I mean, I hope not. Teachers want you to succeed. And your work will show, like if you actually study and if you actually put in the work and if you actually try to understand what is going on in the class, I guarantee you your efforts will show in your mark. If you study really, really, really hard and your mark didn't reflect how much effort you put in, then you go to your teacher and ask for some extra help. Oh, and personally, I don't think listening to music helps when I study. Maybe for like math, but like everything else that has like words, it gets confusing. This week, I think my quiz tomorrow is the last like test related like quiz type thing this week. And then I'm on my winter break, so don't ever like skip questions that you don't understand. Like if you do all the questions all the way to the end and you still can't find out the answer, like I swear every single time I do that, those questions are the ones that are on the actual test and I'm like, like that's rough. So that's why you kind of need to like actually do something about it, you know, try to understand everything. Oh, this is a huge tip. So when I study, I get into like a really focused mode right away. And I know that it's not like that for some people, but the biggest way you can kind of stay focused is to get rid of distractions. So if you have your phone out, put it away somewhere else. Notifications popping up, like your eyes will be drawn to that and you will go on your phone. Like I do this a lot too, so, but if you don't have your phone there, I promise you, you will be able to study so much faster. Then it's better for you because after you're done studying, you can go on your phone for as long as you want. Whatever your distractions are, close them off. Oh. This is such a good tip. It is so huge that you are well hydrated and like well fed. If you are hungry, you will not be able to focus. Your focus will be on your stomach that's grumbling in hunger. So eat some food, have snacks beside you to focus, get a water bottle. I have one right here actually. Hunger and dehydration, that will get to your brain. I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse while I study and do some of these practice questions. You'll see how focused I am, okay? I just finished studying. I think I probably studied for about like maybe 30 minutes. Studying doesn't really need to take long, and don't like overwork yourself. Like if you feel like you need to take a break, go take a break. But make sure to like have self-discipline. So if you say you're gonna rest, be like, okay, I'm gonna rest for 10 minutes and then I'm gonna get back on track. So if you say that to yourself, go set a timer, do anything that you need to do to study. Repetition, consistency, and efficiency. Those three things are like the three main things that you need to like work on in order to study well for your exam. So if you're watching this and you're studying, if you have a test soon, I wish you good luck. Thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!